In this video, I'm going to tell you one of the best and easiest ways to afford a luxury watch. The short answer is to drive a Japanese car. Yes, I'm not kidding. I'm talking about my 1999 Toyota Camry. I genuinely think this is one of the most practical and best cars ever made. Now notice that I didn't say just get a cheap car, because a cheap, and especially a cheap German car, will most certainly bankrupt you. So here's about 6 or 7 reasons why I think the Toyota Camry is one of the best cars. Number 1, this car was extremely reliable. It never left me stranded. Number 2, this car was easy to maintain and cheap to maintain. I did most of the work on it for whatever that it needed, and it never needed any serious work. Just basic consumables like tires, fluids. It needed a new starter, it needed a new exhaust, but only because I live in Canada and the salt just destroys all the metals here. So it got really rusty and the exhaust needed replacing. And that's pretty much it. And now I've surpassed 400,000 kilometers, or about 300,000 miles. It's also high quality. Everything still works on it. Power windows, everything's original, engine, transmission, the seats are in good shape, the AC works, the heat blows hot, the radio works, the CD player still works, and it's just solid. Number 4, I never have to worry about it getting stolen or pulled over. Well, simply because it's a 4-door family sedan and nobody really wants it except me. Number 5, this car was $20,000 MSRP back in 1999. Now, if you think about it, 2019 Camrys are also about $20,000, and they've become quite beautiful, and I'm willing to bet that a lot of people wouldn't turn down a brand new Toyota Camry. So in 1999, this car was just as beautiful for its standard. So personally, I believe if it's good enough for the 90s, then it's good enough for me today. Number 6, I am incredibly proud to own this car because it's almost become like a little classic. And here's the reason why. I rarely see 90s cars on the road today. The only cars I ever see are Volvos, old Honda Accords, and Toyota Camrys. So I've got to tip up my hat to automakers and the people that own and drive those cars for maintaining them, because you rarely see daily driven cars from the 90s anymore. Now sure, there are a ton of cons with driving an old car, but only if you care about them. Keyless entry, backup cameras, sensors, all these fancy gadgets, touch screens, they're inevitably going to break and are going to be a fortune to fix. I personally don't even know what it's like to drive up with a backup Camry, but I do know that many people depend on them way too much. The other con with driving in an old car is that there are no modern safety features like extra airbags. But so far, this car is a tank, and it's been very reliable and safe for me thus far. So let me know what kind of car you drive, and let me know, would you rather drive a depreciating asset, or would you rather have an appreciating watch and still drive a car like a Toyota?